Annika's Corner 2 to a very positive story about, back in the United States, our economy. Fox Business is reporting that middle class families across the country are beginning to pare down their debts. Total household debt fell 1.1% in the first quarter of this year among middle class families. Loan debt is decreasing, meaning people that have been amassing their money and making bigger down payments. So obviously this is good news. From your perspective, do you see this as the reality on the ground these days? Are less people hurting?
Oh, no, not in the slightest. What it is people aren't getting loans. They're being turned down for loans.
You think so?
There's less debt because people aren't foreclosing on their homes.
So what you're saying is these numbers are almost leading people to make false conclusions about an economic recovery.
People aren't going to college because they can't afford it. So they're trying to get jobs.
Yeah.
That's another huge consideration. A bachelor's degree doesn't get you much further than no degree. So why would you throw yourself into that much debt?
So once again, you're very skeptical with these student loan debt numbers.
Yes. Our economy is in the toilet. We all know that.
Yeah.
People don't want to admit our economy is in the toilet. So what's a good way not to admit it? Say, oh, yay, student loan debts are down. Not to state why they're down, because people aren't going to school because they can't afford to go to school.
Yeah, this Fox Business does not report that.
I think we need to look at the bigger picture rather than just, the fact that debt may be down.
Yes.
We need to look at, why realistically is debt down?
So this is really an illusory kind of recovery.
I don't consider it a recovery. I mean, what's recovery? Our primary schools are terrible, and our secondary schools are terrible. It's Americans are the ones who can't afford college anymore. Governments are really not giving out assistance like they used to. So some people that were getting government assistance are no longer getting government assistance.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of it when, you're going to keep your money closer to the belt when, you know that that's going to be it.
Yeah.
Seniors, for example, that people know that they're not getting what they used to get.
But, so basically the article goes on to talk about mortgage debt. It lists some of the top cities with the highest mortgage balances. Predictably, San Francisco, Los Angeles, and New York are on there. But also trending on the list is Miami, Fort Lauderdale, which is your state and your area. Is that reflective? Well, actually, no, let me ask this question. What is the housing mortgage situation like in Florida?
To be honest, I think what it is really reflective of, if you ask me, is that people are not getting as much for their houses, when they do choose to come to Florida. And if you're going to go somewhere where there's no state income tax so that you have more of your money to keep.
Florida obviously was one of the strongest real estate markets in the nation pre-recession, along with Las Vegas and Nevada. It didn't collapse as elaborately or dramatically as Nevada area did, but I'm sure that it has slowed down, probably demonstrably.
Oh, yeah. There are areas that are ghost towns now in Southwest Florida.
You have ghost towns there? What are the names of some of these ghost towns? Do you know any of them?
One of them is Lehigh Acres, kind of outside of Fort Myers, Naples area.
Yeah.
And I know when I was looking for a place to live, I was told, whatever you do, stay away from that area.
Why? Because there's so much crime?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And it's basically, and the only reason there is because you can go through huge areas and there's nothing there. I mean, nothing. And then all of a sudden there's something there, and then nothing is there.
Oh, my God, wow.
It's kind of creepy, actually.
That does sound creepy.
And that's right where they built the airport, too. There's a huge international airport there, right outside of Lehigh Acres. Yeah, so Lehigh Acres was really supposed to be an up-and-coming development. It's even the butt of jokes that Canadians tell around here. I went to a comedy club, and they're all making fun of Lehigh Acres.
Let's move on here. So back to student loan debts. The same way that it broke down mortgage debt, this article did break down the cities with the highest debt offenders for student loans. Memphis, Las Vegas, Atlanta, but also Baton Rouge was in here. And why would the South have more university or student loan debt? It appears on here quite a bit.
The South really got hit hard with the recession.
Yeah.
The South really got hit hard. The South and the Northeast. To be honest, in the Northeast, I think you had a lot more college-educated people that knew to say, okay, let's not do this. You know, their parents might have been college-educated to say that, whereas in the South, there was a resurgence. You know, people that didn't necessarily have educated parents that were first generation going to college.
Yeah.
So they didn't know, and now they're getting hit.
So there's more of a tradition of going to college in the Northeast.
I believe so.
And I would agree with that, because you know what, if you're new to college, if you don't know the experience, you don't really know the secrets to how to, of the system, how to get assistance, how to lower your student loan debt burden. So I could see that because of those reasons, the South would be hit hard. But Baton Rouge surprises me, because not that there's any positive correlation between student loan debt and academic quality. However, when you associate the biggest amounts of debt, you think, oh, well, those are Ivy League schools. Baton Rouge and Louisiana in general is known for its horrid education system. I'm wondering...
Well, and that's the thing. People that can get into Ivy League schools understand, I think, more about finance and how to manage money. Yeah. Because if you think about it, look at the Ivy League education and how much that bloody costs.
To wrap up this article, then it goes into a third category, auto loan debts, which makes the argument that if auto loan balances increase, that signals economic growth and consumer spending. Would you agree with that premise? Hello? Annika, are you there? Hello?
Hello?
Hey.
Oh, there you are.
And this article posits that increased auto loan balances indicate economic growth and consumer spending being higher. Do you agree with that premise?
No. The fact is, cars cost more than they used to.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's why the balance is increased. You can't get a car for $10,000 anymore.
Annika just punching holes in this entire article. But you really are bringing up
I honestly think that the article... It's a feel-good point, and it wants us to feel great, and I'm all for feeling good.
Yeah.
But if you're going to have a feel-good article, have one with real purpose. Mm-hmm. Feel good for a reason. Something real. Have a feel-good piece because you tweak the numbers and make someone think.
One of the things that I found curious about this is why in the world does the average New Yorker have $16,000 in car debt? Why would you buy a car in New York City? I don't know.
So who knows? The people that can afford a car in New York City are going to be affording nice cars.
But I
if
think
you can afford to park in New York City, you're not going to buy a piece of junk. You're going to have a nice car.
That's true, and that would bring the auto loan balances higher, of course. So in summation, I agree with all of these points that you're saying. You're bringing up a lot of angles that this article did not. And, however, I would criticize this for a different reason. Even if these statistics were accurate, or I'm not saying they aren't accurate, but even if they did point to a, quote, economic recovery, at the end of the day, after this, quote, financial crisis, none of the fundamentals of the economy were changed to prevent another crisis. So I think that I think you would take the opinion we are still in a recession. And I would say if we are not, then we will be facing another one in the next 15 to 20 years. And I think it will be worse.
Easily. And I'll be honest with you, I think maybe now we're in a recession. I think the word depression was not used, but absolutely should have been. We were not just in a recession. We were in a flat-out depression.
I agree that was a depression. I heard some people use it.
now. I think every 20 years or so, it's going to be a continuing cycle unless we do something actively to break that cycle.
Correct. Okay, we're going to take a break, and then we will be back talking about Fox News accusing other media outlets of creating racial division.